Good morning, Year 4. I hope you're doing well and are ready to get stuck into some more decimal work. So without any further ado, let me switch my camera over to the visualizer. And here is a look at your do now. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video, and I want to see how quickly you can complete this do now. So what you've got to do is complete the following number bonds by writing the missing part. So if you'd like to quickly grab a watch, a clock, get someone else maybe to time you, or just do it as quickly as possible. Can you complete these missing number bonds as fast as you can? So pause the video, off you go. Right, guys, so hopefully that's given you enough time to do it. I apologize for that. I've just seen that the numbers down the side are a bit skew if it goes 6, 7, 8, and then 5. So let's have a look at the answers. So there we go. Grab a different color pen or pencil and you can get those marked. So the WALT for today is to find number bonds for decimals with one decimal place. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea just to rehearse our number bonds and to freshen up and quicken up those because you're going to be using those number bonds to 10 in our decimals today. So let's have a look at some of our star words that I'm going to be using and that I'd love you guys to be using as well. So when I say it, if you call it back to me: number bond, whole, part, tenths, decimal place. Excellent stuff. So, just a quick review of yesterday's learning, where you were rounding decimals to the nearest whole number. What's a whole number again? A whole number is a number that doesn't have a decimal or has nothing after the decimal point. So, can you round these numbers to the nearest whole number? Off you go. Right, and let's have a look at the answers. So 4.8 rounds to 5, 16.5 rounds to 17, and 103.3 rounds to 103. So this is where our number bonds come in really handy. So here we have a whole, which is 10, which has then been split into two parts. Now, one of those parts is 2.6. The other part we don't know. So we need to find out what other part plus 2.6 can be added together to make the whole, which is 10. So let's I'm going to do this one first. So just watch really carefully how I'm doing it. So identify your parts and your whole. Well, it's already been sort of done for us because it's already in the diagram, but just to make it really clear, I'll put a W for whole, because 10 is our whole, and then a P for parts. One of them is 2.6, and the other, that's what we're trying to find out. So look at your part, which is 2.6, and find what you must add to make the next whole number. So that part is 2.6, and I've got this number line here to help me. How many to get to the next whole number? And be really careful, it doesn't say nearest, it says next, so the one after it. So 2.6, this number line is going up in tenths, so 0.1s. Let's see, how many more do we need to get to 3, which is our next whole number? So 0.1. 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So it's 0.4 to get from 2.6 to 3. Write this answer after the decimal. So we're going to put our decimal point, and we're going to put the 0.4 on there. We don't need to write the 0, that's going to come later on. So we're leaving that blank, it does say after the decimal. Then the numbers on here have been messed up as well, so it should be step 4. Now that we are on 3, we need to count on until we get to the whole. So 3 is here. We need to get to the whole number, which is 10. So going along this number line, let's see how many we need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gets us to 10. Now that we know the answer is 7, we write the answer before the decimal point. So then the 7 goes there. Therefore, I know that 7.4 plus 2.6 equals 10. What else do I know from that? I also know that 10 take away 2.6 equals 7.4. So that's how we find the two parts of our whole. Right, so let's look at another one together. So the first thing we need to do is identify the parts and the whole. So again, the whole is still going to be a 10, as they all will for this section. And our two parts, what are our two parts? One of them is 3.9, and one of them is this blank one, which we're trying to figure out. So, read out step 2. What do I need to do next? So, I need to look at your part and find what you must add to make the next whole number. So, our part is 3.9, which is here on the number line. Tell me, what's the next whole number going to be? If we're on 3.9, what's the next whole number going to be? Absolutely right, it's going to be 4. So it should be quite a short journey, as we can see from this number line, but let's see how many we need to go. Again, it's going up in tenths. So 0.1, and that is literally it. It's just that one very short number jump of 1/10. Where do I put that 0.1 then? Look at the third step. Where do I write it? So you can see that I write this after the decimal. So I nearly put that. 0.1. Now that I'm on number 4, I need to count on until you get to the whole. So where's number 4 along this timeline, this number line? It is there. So, and what is our whole? Call out at the screen. What's the whole that I need to get to? I'm on 4. What's the whole? Of course, it's 10. So, let's see how many number jumps do we need to do to get to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What do I do with that 6? Where do I put it? Let's look at the final step. And we write that answer before the decimal point. So now that blank can be filled in. So 6 goes over there. Right, so that means 6.1 plus 3.9 equals 10. And it's always a good idea to check that. So we can just do a bit of very quick addition. 6 plus 3 is 9. 0.9 plus 0.1 is 1. So 9 plus 1 is 10. So that seems to work really, really perfectly. Right, so before I set you off to do your independent work, let's go through one more together. So, first thing we do, what is the first thing that we're going to do? We'll do the first sort of steps together, and then I'm going to set you off to do the rest by yourself. So the first thing is we need to identify your parts and your whole. What's our whole going to be? Of course, it's going to be 10 again. Call out at the screen, what's the part that we know? 1.3, and then this is the blank one that we don't know. Now, what I would like you to do is I want you to pause the video and do step 2 by yourself. So look at the part and find what you must add to get to the next whole number. So the part that we know is 1.3. What do we need in order to get to the next whole number? Use this first number line to help you. Pause the video now. Can you find out what that's going to be? So hopefully you've had a chance to do that. And we need to look at the part and find what we need to get from 1.3 to the next whole number. What's the next whole number? 2. So let's start. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. So hopefully that's what you got there. Then for the next step, where do we put that answer 0.7? We write that answer after the decimal. So 0.7. Okay, so now that we're on 2 currently, what I'd like you to do again is pause the video. Can you count on until you get to the whole? Off you go. Right, let's see how you did. So hopefully you realize that the whole is 10. We're on 2. We need to count forward to see how many gets us to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And where does that number go? Write the answer before the decimal point. So then the answer is 8.7. So 8.7 plus 1.3 makes the whole, which is 10. Very well done, guys. So for your first task, sorry, the Sharpie has come through the page a bit there. What I'd like you to do is, can you, if you've got the sheet, then you've got these drawn out for you. If not, you can just draw them out yourself. It's no problem at all. These 6 questions I would love for you to solve. You've got all the steps to success there. So pause the video now, complete those, off you go. Okay, guys, so hopefully you've had a chance to go through those. Let's have a look at the answers there. So grab your different color pen or pencil. There we go. So a bit of a trick of this as well is that, just check this one here. It shouldn't be 2.4. What's the mistake that I've made there? What's the mistake? And I can see that straight away because 7 plus 2 is 9, but 4 plus 4 definitely, 0.4 plus 0.4 definitely doesn't make 1. So this should be a 6, so it should be 2.6. My apologies. If you're still struggling with this a little bit and not finding a bit tricky, go back and go through the explanation again and just redo the ones that we've already finished, because it can be a bit tricky. So for the next section, we're having to do exactly the same thing, except this time the parts and the wholes are going to be different. So we've just been dealing with tens for the moment. Now we've got a different whole. So the first thing we've got to do, identify your parts and your whole. And I'm going to do this in exactly the same way as was sort of already drawn for us on the sheet. So our whole, I can see, is going to be 9, because that's the number after the equal sign. And I'm going to draw my arrows here to show that we have 2 parts. Now, what is the part that I know? Well, I can tell that's 5.3. And then the other part I don't know yet, so I'll leave that there. But I will just do a decimal point, just so that's there for when I need it. Right, look at your part and find what you must add to make the next whole number. Well, my part is 5.3, and I know the next whole number after 5.3 is going to be 6. So even though I don't have a number line, I can either draw one, but I think I can go through. I know that there are 10 tenths in one whole, so I know I need to get this 3 up to a 10. So that's going to be 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then that would be 10 tenths, so that's giving me 7. what do? I write that answer after the decimal. And you can start to see a pattern here that the number bonds are always to 10. 3 plus 7. Because we need 10 tenths in order to make a whole. So, next thing we do, count on until you get to the whole. So we were on 6, we need to get to 9. So what number do you think is going to go before the decimals? Well, let's see. So we're on 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. So that's 3, and that number goes before the decimal. So 5.3 plus 3.7 is 9. So let's look at the next one here. 7.1 plus something equals 12. So again, tell me, call out to the screen, what is our part? Hopefully you're realizing 7.1 is the part. And what is our whole? Our whole is going to be 12. So we need to find what other part plus 7.1 makes 12. So we've identified the parts in the whole. Look at the part, which actually I'm going to make a little bit clearer for you. There we go. So look at the part and find what you must add to get to the next whole number. So if I'm on 7.1, I know I need what number bond does 1 make with 10? So in order to get to the next whole number, what am I going to need? What number bond with 1 makes 10? Hopefully we can instantly grab that and say that that is going to be 9, because we know that 9 plus 1 is 10. Therefore, that's what we write after the decimal point. 1 and 9 is 10. So the next whole number after 7.1 is 8. So if we're on an 8, how many more we need to count on until we get to the whole, which is 12? So if we're on 8, can you count on until we get to 12? And what is that going to be? Pause the video now. So hopefully if we're on 8, we should know that there is going to be 4 more to get to 12. So 4.9 plus 7.1 equals 12. And let's just quickly double check it. 7 plus 4 is 11. 9 and 1 make 0.9 and 0.1 make a whole. So 11 plus 1 equals 12. Right, guys, so what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to leave this all up to you. I'm just going to draw out the whole and the parts. The other steps are all up to you, okay? So pause the video now. Can you find out what the other missing part is? 13.5 and what make 20. So pause the video now. Do this in your own books. Off you go. Right, so let's have a look and see how you got on. So the first thing we need to do, look at the part, which is 13.5, and find what do we need to add to make the next whole number. Well, I know that the next whole number after 13.5 is going to be 14. And that in order to get there, our number bond 5 and 5 are going to be a number bond which are going to make a whole and get us to 14. Next thing that we do, count on until we get to the whole. So we're on 14, we need to get to 20. Well, if I count up 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that is 6. And that answer goes before the decimal. So I know that 13.5 plus 6.5 equals 20. So remember, the numbers after the decimal points need to add up to 10. So if we look at the previous examples that we've done, so 5 plus 5 equals 10, 9 plus 1 equals 10, and 3 plus 7 equals 10. So that's a really quick way of checking to make sure that your number bonds are correct. And that's why we practice those at the beginning. So for your second task, can you please complete these additions? Remember that the wholes are different, the parts are different, and can you find what the second unknown part is for each of these equations using these steps to help you? Pause the video now, off you go. Okay, so grab your different color pen and pencil. Let's see how you got on. There we go. And again, just to repeat what I was saying earlier, if you look at all of the numbers after the decimal point, they add together to make 10. 2 and 8. 8 and 2, 7 and 3, 8 and 2, 8 and 2. 8 and 2 has been a very popular one, and 8 and 2 as well. So, for those of you that are really looking to push yourself, here is your reasoning. So, pause the video, have a read of these questions, and see how you manage to get on. Off you go. Okay, so let's see how you guys got on with that. So, I add 3 numbers together to create 15. One of them is 7.9. What could my other 2 numbers be? Now, for these, there are loads of different examples you could have given. So this isn't the only correct answer. But I know, for instance, that we need a 0.1 to get us to the next number. So it could have been 2.1 and 5. It could have been 3.1 and 4. There are tons of ones you could have done. This one here, there is only one answer. So Tim says 1.6 plus 2.4 equals 3.10 or 3.10. So hopefully you realize, no, he's not correct because he hasn't regrouped. So 0.4 plus 0.6 makes 1. So his answer should have been to 4. And for those of you that are feeling incredibly brainy today, there are 2 challenge questions as well. So if you'd like to give these a go, that would be fantastic. Pause the video now. All right, and let's have a look. So those are the 2 answers for those final questions there, 1.6 meters and 1.8 meters. Right, guys, really, really pleased with your efforts today. Very well done. Remember to get those the work uploaded onto Seesaw. I can't wait to see it. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another lesson on decimals. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye-bye.